Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Saranyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gaudamanubhishtam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayanam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismirahasara Murali Manohara Viradhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyam Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshava Sacham Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances, the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatama Shri Guru Pada Padma, Nitalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya, Ashtotara Sata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva, and to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya, Ashtotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanava Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharyas, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So continue reading from Sri Ramananda Samvada, the chapter about Radha Tattva. Etak Shankepe Kohilo Krishnera Swarup, Ebe Shankepe Kohi Radha Tattvarup, Krishnera Ananta Shakti Tatetina Pradhan, Chit Shakti Maya Shakti Jiva Shakti Nam, Antaranga Bahiranga Tatashta Kahijare, Antaranga Swarupa Shakti Sabara Upare. Sri Ramananda Rai then said, I have thus briefly explained the fundamentals of Shri Krishna's original form. Now please hear as I give a brief description of Sri Radha. Shri Krishna has unlimited potencies, of which three are prominent. These are the spiritual potency, Chit Shakti, the material potency, Maya Shakti, and the marginal potency, Jiva Shakti, which is otherwise known as the living entities. So these are also known respectively as the internal potency, Antaranga Shakti, the external potency, Bahiranga Shakti, and the marginal potency, Tatashta Shakti. But the internal potency, or Swarupa Shakti, predominates. So this is the translation of the verses above. So important point here. First is the association of the terms. Chit Shakti means Antaranga Shakti, means the internal potency. Then Maya Shakti means Bahiranga Shakti. And Jiva Shakti means Tatastha Shakti. So another very important point to understand. Tatastha Shakti is not a place. It's not a type of territory, as we sometimes may think it is, because of the examples which are given, like the shore of the ocean and the water coming, and then touching, all these things. Actually, this is only example. Practically speaking, Srila Gurudev told, it's not a place. Actually, it is a jiva itself. Jiva itself is Tatashta Shakti. Understand? So it is not a place. It is the jiva. But to understand the position of the jiva in relation to the material world and to the spiritual world, that example is given as a shore of the ocean. Sometimes devotees, they mistake this, and they think Tatashta is a place where the jivas are originated. No, the jiva is not coming from Tatashta Shakti. The jiva itself is Tatashta Shakti. Okay, it's a very, very important siddhanta here, and that will help in future understandings of many things. There is no such a place which creates jivas. Jivas are eternal. They're not created. They're just like, what to say, like hosted in the body of Mahavishnu when they are out of the material world. But does not mean that they have been created by or in any specific location. Okay, let's move. The Super Soul, Parabrahman, does not perform any material activities since he does not have material hands or feet. He performs his transcendental pastimes without any material cause. By his transcendental body, he resides everywhere in the whole universe at the same time. There is mention of this Chit Shakti, spiritual potency, in the Upanishads. Tethyana yoganugata pashyam devatma shakting swagunir nigudam ya karanani nikilani tani kalatma yuktani adishtitati ekaha. Sutashvatara Upanishad 1.3. Those Brahmavadi rishis who know the fundamental truths are firmly situated in the trance of Samadhi Yoga and are empowered by the qualities of Parabrahma. While wrapped in meditation, they have seen, by the influence of the Lord's energies, the exceedingly confidential divine potency born from his very form. He is the cause of all other causes, and the sole predominant and presiding deity of the living entities of time, of material nature, and of activity. So this is description of Chit, Chit Shakti. The next one, Maya Shakti, is described in the following verse. Chamdam Siyagya Kratava Vratani Bhutam Bhavyam Yachad Veda Vadanti Asmam Mai Srijati Vishwam Metat Tasmins Chanyo Mayaya Saniruddha. Shatashvatara Upanishad 4.9. Paramatma, who is the master of the deluding material nature, has created all the teachings of the Vedas. He has also created special yagyas, such as Jyotishtoma, that are performed with ghee. Various types of vrata, means fasts, sacrifices, penances, and everything else in existence in the past, present, and future. In other words, he has created the entire world, the description of which is found in the Vedas. The master of Maya has created all of this, and the ignorant jivas are bound by his Maya. So the explanation of Maya is that Maya is a byproduct of Chit Shakti, and at the same time has the capacity for deluding Jiva Shakti. Maya cannot delude Chit Shakti, but can delude Jiva Shakti. So what is the difference between the Mayavadis and the Brahmavadis? Brahmavadis are the impersonalists, right? They worship the impersonal aspect of the Lord. Nothing wrong with that. God has also the impersonal aspect. But the Mayavadis, they're being called Mayavadis. Why? Because they say that when this Parabrahma comes in the material world in the form of any avatar, or even in the form of Krishna, who is not an avatar, but including Krishna, they will be made out of the Sattva-guna element, which is within the control of Maya. It means that which is absolute and completely, all-pervasive, will become under the spell of Maya. But that is impossible. But that is what the Mayavadis believe. Therefore, their name is called Mayavadis. They are followers of the theory that Maya can cover Brahma. But Brahma cannot be covered by anything. Maya is a byproduct of Brahma. So therefore, Brahma can never cover Maya. Maya can never cover Brahma. But still, they believe that. So that is one of the, missing links in their philosophy. So next one. It is possible to find further descriptions of this Maya Shakti in the other Upanishads. Ajam Mekam Lohita Shukla Krishnam Bhavi Praja Srijamanam Sarupaha Ajo Hieko Jushamano Nushete Jahati Enam Bhukta Bhugam Ajo Nyaha. Shvetashvatar 4.5. There are two types of unborn jivas. Jivas of the first type are ignorant and worship Bhagavan's material potency called Prakriti. That Prakriti, whose modes are red, white, and black, means Raja, Sattva, and Tama, is also unborn like Bhagavan. However, unborn jivas of the second type are knowledgeable. They have overcome ignorance and therefore have completely renounced that material energy which the others strive to enjoy. Basically, we can define these two groups. One is the Shaktas and the other one is the Vaishnavas. Shaktas are those who worship Prakriti in the form of Durga Devi. That is very well described in Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Very nice. Chapter 9, very nice discussion is there. Chapter 8, 9. So, and then the Vaishnavas who are worshipping what? Chit Shakti, means Bhagavan himself. So this is the distinction. These two type of jivas are there. One is worshipping matter, one is worshipping spiritual, means Chit Vastu, transcendental object. There are two types of jivas. One type is knowledgeable, jnanis. They worship the Supreme Soul, completely renouncing the material energy that others are striving to enjoy. The other type of jiva remains ignorant, engaging in the service of the material energy. They may be even worshipping or they may even just enjoying, but somehow they're serving this material energy. Although not different from his own inconceivable internal potency, Bhagavan's desires are independent. That Supreme Person has an eternal transcendental form whose glories are self-manifesting. The Supreme and Absolute Truth is eternally self-manifested. The following Vedic mantra provides another account of the three energies of that self-manifesting truth. Another verse from Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6.16. That Paramatma is omniscient and the creator of the universe. He is self-born, the controller of time, the knower of all, the lord of the material energy, and the controller of all jivas. He is full of all transcendental qualities and beyond all material qualities, yet he is their master. He binds the jivas in the repeated cycle of birth and death, places them in their respective situations, and also liberates them from that cycle. So it's a very interesting shloka because it brings a lot of information at the same time. I'm avoiding to, try to explain everything in details because, takes a lot. So I'm just moving, and let the book flow by itself. So otherwise, you're gonna break so much. But the thing is, a very good point in this verse is that say that he binds the jivas in the repeated cycle of birth and death. So commonly we hear that we have come to this material world by our own choice, right? With a desire to enjoy the material world and to become averse, to Krishna. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains that actually this is what we say for those who are neophytes, those who are beginners in the spiritual life. Because if they're not having still so much strong faith in Bhagavan, it's very difficult to tell them that actually Bhagavan put us here by his own will. And there is nothing that we can choose actually, So, and Srila Gurudev used to say, is it by chance? By chance in the sense that when we come out of the body of Mahavishnu and we are like breathed out, by him, we see from one side the brightness of the spiritual world and the other side the brightness of the material world. And both look like the same. And we are just attracted by one of them without any idea, without any preconcept of where I'm going. But I just think, okay, that is better. Okay, then you go there. So Srila Gurudev used to give the example of the blade, Then if you throw many mustard seeds against the blade, by chance, some will come to the left, some will come to the right of the blade, right side of the blade. So in the same way, we are pushed by Mahavishnu. We are pushed, towards, the material world and the spiritual world. And some will come down, some will go up. So the thing is, Bhagavan, he needs people in the material world. He needs. I think I have already explained this once here in some questions and answers section. But anyway, I'm just going to make my point again. Because he can fulfill many, many desires by having jivas in the material world. He can fulfill his desires to perform his leelas of saving the fallen jivas, to become the supremely merciful. If there is no fallen jiva, then how Krishna can be the savior? How he can be the most merciful? If there is no jiva who is attached to the material world, full of tendency for enjoyment, for committing sins and many things, then how can Bhagavan be called the supremely merciful? There must be someone who has miseries. The word mercy comes from misery. The mercy means those who are accepting the miseries of others and still helping them. So in this way, the verse says, and also liberates them from that cycle. It's a part of Krishna Lila. And now, if you have no faith for Krishna, no really surrender to Krishna, you think, oh, he's very cruel. No, he's putting us here to suffer. He's putting us in such condition in this material world full of wars and many type of problems here. This, body conception of life, many things. And especially the forgetfulness about himself. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am giving remembrance and forgetfulness, both. So in this way, if we mention these things to neophyte people, they will become upset. So we can only tell this to advanced devotees, I think all of you are, so that you can really come to the point that, if you really are devotee, if you really are doing anabhilashita shunyam, if you want to do everything for Krishna's pleasure, then you will never conceive in your mind to complain or think that it was a bad idea to be sent to this material world. Because it's not for our pleasure, it's for Krishna's pleasure. So if it comes to your mind that, oh, it's not good, then it's not more Anyavilashita Shunyam. It's not Krishna Anushilanam. It's only what is good for me. So when you come to the point to understand that everything should be for Krishna, then you can accept that idea. Oh, he put me here for his purpose, and he'll take me out of here again for his purpose. And I have nothing to do, just to surrender and just to follow his instructions and follow his path, and that's it. In the moment you understand this, now listen carefully. In the moment you realize this, all your suffering finished. Automatically. I have experienced this in my life, because actually I realized these things before becoming a devotee, actually. Before becoming a devotee, I already have this type of relation with God, in the sense that I already understood that everything is running by his desire. From that moment, I became completely like, oh, okay, there is nothing to worry. Now, just to wait my karma to finish, accept whatever is coming and going, tolerating everything and becoming, blissful and happy and satisfied. I'm not saying that suffering is not coming. Yes, suffering is coming, but it's not staying. That's the difference. It is coming because my karma is there, but I don't let it sit inside of myself. I don't let this suffering come and this depression or anything which is like against, this bliss of existing according to Krishna's desires. So in the moment you realize this, then your life changes completely, being you a devotee or not. But especially when you are a devotee, especially because you have much more intimacy now, you have much more reasons to even become more happy, right? Not to suffer more. You have more reasons to be more happy. And the more happy you are, the less suffering you have. And the more bhakti comes, the more happy you become. And bhakti does not depend on you becoming pure or perfected before. No. This is another very big misconception. First, bhakti will come. Then after, the miseries and the sufferings and the tendency to commit sins and offenses will go. Because bhakti is independent. And also bhakti is the light. First light should come, then darkness will go. You cannot remove darkness out of the room by taking a bucket, and try to push it out. Not possible. So in this way, we have to be completely, surrendered to Krishna. Then real happiness will start to manifest. Accepting happiness and distress as the same thing. Brahma bhuta prasannatmana shoshachina kangshachi. Samasarvesha bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. Those who are equipoised. This is a verse also of the quoted here in Ramananda Samvada to explain Jnana Shunya Bhakti. Jnana Mishra Bhakti. No, Jnana Shunya Bhakti. Those who are in the stage of Brahma Bhuta, they are equipoised. They see everything without partiality. Happiness or distress, for them is the same thing. They are self-satisfied. But self-satisfied in which sense? In the sense that they are connected with Chit Shakti, with Swarupa Shakti. So that is the process. Okay, so let us move on. This mantra mentions the following three divisions of the internal energy of Bhagavan. Pradhana, the total manifestation of the three modes of material nature. This indicates Maya Shakti or illusory energy. So just for you to understand, Pradhana is the unmanifested, and material energy, unmanifested. So, and then when it will be touched by the glance of Mahavishnu, then it becomes Mahatattva. it manifests, unfolds. Okay, this is the similar thing to Mahatattva, but one is before, another is after. Kitragya, the knower of the body. This indicates Jiva Shakti, individual souls. And Kitrapati, the internal potency or Chit Shakti. There is an axiom of logic that states, Shakti Shakti Matora Bhedha. Bhagavan is no different from his own multifarious potencies. Shakti and Shaktiman means the possessor of potencies are non-different. In accordance with this logical principle, we may understand that this world is the work of the external potency known as Maya Shakti. The manifestation of the countless individual souls is the work of the Jiva Shakti. And the manifestation of the spiritual world is the work of the internal potency known as Chit Shakti. By the same logic, we may appreciate that despite all the work performed by his energy, Bhagavan himself remains unaffected and immutable to all times. Maya Shakti is the shadow of Chit Shakti. This can be understood by the example of someone's reflection in a larger mirror. At first glance, the person and his reflection might appear to be identical, but upon a more thorough examination, it becomes apparent that both are in fact diametrically opposite each other. One is the person himself, and the other is simply his reflection. In a similar fashion, the varieties within the spiritual and material world might at first appear to be alike or similar, but a more careful examination would in fact reveal them to be quite opposite. That is the also example given as the tree on the bank of the lake, right? The reflection of the tree in the water of the lake, it's as perfect as the tree. But as soon as the water ripples, then that reflection will ripple, but not the tree itself. It's a similar example. Srimati Radhika is said to be Swarupa Shakti, just as musk and its fragrance, or fire and its potency to burn are inseparable from one another. Similarly, Srimati Radhika and Shri Krishna are always inseparable, even though they are eternally distinct in the matter of relishing nectarian lila. Swarupa Shakti performs three kinds of functions, manifesting the internal potency, Chit Shakti, Maya Shakti, and Jiva Shakti. So we are all byproducts of Swarupa Shakti. All Shaktis are created by Swarupa Shakti. Swarupa Shakti is the original Shakti. An alternative name of Chit Shakti is Antaranga Shakti, the internal potency. Another name of Maya Shakti is Bahiranga Shakti. And lastly, another name for Jiva Shakti is Tatastha Shakti. Shri Krishna is the root cause of the shelter of limitless incarnations of Bhagavan and the infinite abodes of those incarnations, as well as unlimited universes. Yet, despite personally being the limitless ocean of Rasa, who attracts the hearts of all, and despite directly being the very attractor of Cupid himself, still he is controlled by the prema of Sri Radha. Then this verse, okay, this last part is very, very important just to emphasize. It's that Radha and Krishna, they are one, but eternally divided in two for the sake of tasting ras. So when they want to taste ras, they divide themselves, but they're eternally one, right? Ekatma, ekatmanava swarup, one swarup, one form. But although Krishna, he is the supreme controller, including the controller of the Shakti, of the potencies, because he's the Purusha, he is controlled by the love of Srimati Radhika. That is the very beautiful conclusion, of our Gaudiya Sampradaya. In other Sampradayas, you never find that Shakti is controlling Shaktiman. Not possible. Only in Gaudiya you find this. That Krishna is trying to worship the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika, trying to put his own head on the feet of Srimati Radhika. Jayadeva Goswami, very learned, very exalted Vaishnava, he was unable to write down that because he thought it's not proper. So that was breaking with so much of the tradition, of the Vedic tradition, breaking the sense of what the common history was, revealing to that point. Because from the ultimate sense, there are many Rasik Vaishnavas since the beginning of the creation, and they understand these points, right? It's not new for everyone. It is just something new to the public. What is the real tradition? The real tradition is the origin of everything. And what is that origin? That is Srimati Radhika. Everything comes from Swarup Shakti. So in this way, actually, it takes some time to give understanding to the society, to the people, about this ultimate truth. Therefore, the Vedas go step by step. Krishna goes step by step, teaching people gradually, slowly, slowly. Maybe we have taken birth many times before, and we have learned also slowly, slowly, gradually, by and by. I'm saying maybe. I cannot, really affirm that. But in the sense that it's needed to gradually put things step by step. So now let's come to the verse. Vishnu Purana 6.7.6.61. Vishnu Shakti Para Prakta Kitra Gyakya Tata Para Avidya Karma Samgyana Tritya Shaktir Ishyate. Sri Vishnu has three energies: the internal potency, Parashakti, the living entities, Ketragya, and the illusory energy, Avidya Shakti. The internal potency of Vishnu is known as Swarupa Shakti or Chit Shakti. The living entity potency is also known as Tatastha Shakti or Jiva Shakti. And the illusory potency is also known as Maya Shakti or the external material energy. Sachidananda Maya Krishnira Swarup Ataiva Swarupa Shakti Hoy Tinarup Anandam Se Ladini Sadam Se Sandhini Chidam Se Samvit Jari Gyana Kori Mani. Shri Krishna's transcendental form is composed of eternity, bliss, and knowledge, Sachidananda Maya. Now, try to understand this Maya. The A's are without the slash on top. So the A's are short, Maya. It's not Maya, which means the illusion, right? Maya means imbued. Imbued with means Sachidananda. Composed of, made of, all these synonymous for Maya. Therefore, his internal potency also has three different forms. From his aspect of eternality or existence comes Sandhini. From his aspect of bliss comes Ladhini. And from his aspect of knowledge comes Samvit. The cognizance portion of the internal potency has been accepted as real jnana or knowledge. Therefore, it is called Chit Shakti. When it says that it has been accepted as real jnana or real knowledge, the cognizance portion, cognizance means the Chit aspect. It is also called as Samvit. See, there are many names like synonymous for many things. Those who are not yet familiar with all these things may feel a little bit confused, but it's just synonymous for the same thing, right? For the same thing. Ladhini Sandhini Samvid Twai Eka Sarva Sastito Haladata Pahari Mishra Twai no Guna Varjite. Vishnu Purana 112:69. O Bhagavan, you are the shelter of everything. Your three spiritual potencies, Ladhini, Sandhini, and Samvit, are always present within you. When the material energy acts upon the conditioned soul, he experiences happiness, misery, and a mixture of the two. None of these, however, are able to touch you, as the material energy has no influence upon you. Now I'm going to make a very nice question to all of you. After hearing all these names of these Shaktis of Bhagavan, who is able to tell me how many Shaktis Krishna has? You can write in the chat or open your microphone. How many Shaktis Krishna is having? One, Madhuvrat Prabhu, yes. Right, correct answer. Only one. And that is called Swarup Shakti. That's the tricky thing here. Krishna has only one potency. That is called Swarupa Shakti. And from Swarupa Shakti, many different vrittis or functions will manifest. Samvit, Sandhini, Ladini, they are functions of Swarupa Shakti. Okay? So sometimes people, they answer unlimited, 3, 6, but very difficult to find, the proper answer in the first place. And Madhuvrat Prabhu, he did very well. So we must get this point. Krishna has only one Shakti. This is called Purna Shakti. Swarupa Shakti is the absolute Shakti, but it you divide in multifarious others Shakti, means functions of that same Shakti. They're called also Shaktis because they come from Shakti. They're also Shaktis, but they are not independent Shaktis. And they're not coming from anywhere else. They have the same source. Okay? So this is a very good point. Okay, I think we're going to stop here. Our time is there. And let us continue next time. So, yeah. So, yeah, let me know then if you have any question, any comments to make. Hare Krishna.